A lot of time behind bars on this trip, from my home in Banifal to Bear Lake, and then to Glacier National Park and all the points in between. I'm making my return trip home as I shoot this. So that's on this episode of UTADV. Plus I'm going to do a review of the Nemo Aurora 2-person tent. Okay. These days are getting longer, while the end of summer is getting shorter. The days are. My days behind the bars seem like they're starting to take their toll a little bit. This trip, for some reason, in particular, and I'm having a hard time getting my mojo going with this all. It's been a good trip. Really enjoyed the ride, and then meeting up with Brian and Mark as well at Glacier National Park. We had a phenomenal day riding the Going to the Sun road, and in fact this is what that looked like. I was able to take a little detour back to the Grand Teton National Park and take a shot or two and just let that place soak in on me a little bit as well. And then I ended up here in McRae, Idaho. I'm at the McRae Bridge campground, which is right by a branch of the Snake River. And so I was here the second night, and now I'm here now again, going back because I liked it so much. It's a nice campground. I'd highly recommend it if you're passing through this area. It's in Island Park, Idaho, around that area there. And coming back today, I made my way through from North Yellowstone, then just kind of jogged over and came out West Yellowstone to add just a few more photos and to this trip, as far as creating some memories and getting some shots and getting things out there. I wanted to talk to you about my latest tent acquisition. I got it from REI. I purchase all my stuff. Nobody pays for these reviews, and it's made by Nemo, and I've had a wonderful experience with them as an outdoor equipment maker. Their customer service is bar none, one of the best I've ever worked with there. And so I decided to go with the Nemo tent, which was a little bit of an upgrade, but then I was able to get it on sale, and so things worked out pretty well. It's the Nemo Aurora 2-person tent, and it works out well. It fits in my jivvy bag that fits on top of one of my panniers. The whole thing fits into there. It's a nice compact package there. It's very roomy. I'll put the dimensions down here because I just don't know them off the top of my head. But and the height on it is nice as well, to where I could actually sit in my FlexLight chair inside the tent if it rains or anything that way, and not have to keep my head bent over that way. The tent itself comes with a footprint, and the footprint, as well as all 4 corners of the tent itself and all 4 corners of the rainfly, all have these. They look like pop top from a soda pop can. These little tabs, these little aluminum tabs, and they slip over the aluminum poles, and which make it not only very convenient to set up and take down, but it's also extraordinarily lightweight as well, and it's very sturdy. The bones of the tent, the main structure is all one piece. All the poles are tethered together, which I really like a lot as well. I'm not having to search for poles and see what's just going to fit where, how it's going to come together. So once I get the footprint down and I put the tent down, I put the frame up and put it into those little aluminum tabs at each corner, and it just goes together very well. It goes up in a minute, maybe 2 there as it goes, and then the fly goes up, and I take the fly tabs and put it underneath then where the aluminum pegs or the legs are going into the other tabs, and it's very secure. It comes with a really nice skyline kit. The rainfly, at first I struggled with it a little bit because I didn't understand exactly how to set it as far as getting rid of condensation inside the tent. But once Brian helped me out, being the REI employee that he is, and showed me that there are 2 additional guidelines that need to be added to this. And last night it was wonderful. No condensation buildup in the tent whatsoever. It vented well. And it kept me pretty warm too. Inside there are a number of large pockets to stash my stuff, and there's a pocket overhead. There are some loop tabs along the ceiling, along the spine on the inside of the tent, so I could hang a light or a fan or whatever I want to do that way. The floor pan is all, it feels waterproof there. I can't attest to it if it is or not, but it seems to be very well made. I really like that the both has 2 doors, one on each side. They're both D doors, but the design of these is such that they're very wide opening and tall opening, and easy to open as well. The zippers feel like they've been laced with Teflon or something, because they just don't catch on anything. They zip really easily, and when you're trying to get out of a tent at 2 o'clock in the morning and your zipper binds on you, you know that's something to look for in a tent that doesn't give you that kind of binding. The fly gives me ample room both front and back to stow my gear, keep any condensation or warning dew from lighting on that as well. So if you're looking for something to put into your kit, if you're a 2-person car camping or motorcycle camping or something, I highly recommend this tent. Like I said, I bought it from REI. Nemo, I'm sure, is available through other retailers as well. The Glacier National Park route was a pickup from last year. If you watched Pearls on the Strand, you know that we kind of had to abandon going to Glacier because of the inclement weather that was happening, the flooding that we experienced in Yosemite that put us up the Red Lodge, and the flooding that happened there. So this was our pickup, our ability to come back a year later and try to go through and do it again. And not without its challenges. The Going to the Sun Road, the first 9 miles of it as it comes out of Apgar Village, is all torn up. And there's nothing left of the road. It's all just dirt road. In fact, there's about 12 inches deep there of the road, as it doesn't match any of the pull-out surfaces anymore. And they keep it terribly wet. And so going up in the morning, the three of us were just kind of motoring along and being careful, but we didn't really pay it a whole lot of attention. So we went and did the road, went to St. Mary's, and came back. And coming down on that, as we got back onto that 9-mile stretch, not far into that, Mark went down on his Harley. He went down pretty hard as well. I'm guessing the foot peg caught the right side foot peg caught it and pivoted it around and took it off of the road, over the berm onto the lake side. We weren't close to the lake shore yet at that point, but when I circled around and came back, I thought we would need a wrecker to go through and pull that bike back off the road. But we didn't, and the reason why was because there was some good people who stopped. Do you need any help? And we got a couple of them. So between the 5 of us, we righted that big, heavy motorcycle, and Mark was able to eventually ride it up over the berm and get it back onto the road again. And then we let his nerves calm down a bit. After that, we were taking it painfully slow, because honestly this road surface was just like axle grease or an ice rink. It was just, I don't know how people were doing it. In fact, there were 3 automotive crashes that happened, according to one of the park personnel that we had talked to. We saw a life flight helicopter dispatched and came our way. An ambulance and a couple of other emergency response vehicles as well. So it was pretty crazy going back. Well, once we got Mark settled back on, I was in front, Mark was in the middle, Brian was in back, because Mark lost his rear view mirror and he couldn't see. So we were just kind of helping him out, and I'll be darned if my bike didn't just flip out from underneath me and send me right into the mud, and it slid and pivoted around as well. I've never experienced anything like that before, and I've ridden in conditions where it probably would have been smarter not to ride in those. And it's just so disconcerting, once you lose your confidence, everything becomes an indicator of danger, right? That you become hyper aware of the road and everything that's going on, and it's not enjoyable at all. Mark's bike went down as well. When I went down, we both went down at the same time, and I think probably hit the same slick patch there, and that shook him up even more. So we got both bikes righted, and long story short, we made it back. We were able to take the shortcut to Epcar Village and went to the cafe there and had some Arnold Palmers and something to eat and just kind of calmed down. But so that was quite the adventure. We got back to our campsite, our cabin site, I shouldn't say. We didn't camp. We went to there's a KOA holiday there, West Glacier. I'd highly recommend it. This is my 4th time there. 3rd time there. And we went to dinner, and we were sitting out on the patio listening to live music. It was a wonderful setting. And we're seeing this cloud of smoke billowing over one of the western mountains to the west of us, and like close by, right? So we asked our server, is this anything we need to be worried about? And she goes, well, actually, they've issued a pre-evacuation notice. Sound familiar? Because we got evacuated out of our motel back at Red Lodge last year because of the flooding that was going on. But fortunately, we didn't get evacuated. We were able to make a leisurely departure the next morning. But I'm not sure the guys are going to ride with me anymore. I seem to bring this ribbon of that goes beyond adventure, maybe, in what most people would like to be able to do. The air quality was terrible. The ride down from Glacier yesterday, we ended up at a wonderful campsite just outside of Livingston, south of Bozeman, Montana. And the air quality was just smoky the whole way, irritating airways and eyes and things there, but we made it. The campsite there was wonderful, except maybe for the threat of bears, but we didn't see any. We had plenty of deer coming through our campsite, and we just had a wonderful stay there. So if you are in Paradise Valley, that area, it's just south of Bozeman, and maybe they won't appreciate me telling you about this. It is a U.S. Forest campsite there, so not like it's a hidden gem or anything, but it is a gem. It's a great site to go through and camp. So All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Utah ADV. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would appreciate you doing so. Thank you for getting us over that 1,000 mark there. Now I just need to ask you to watch the complete videos as it goes, because it's not just subscribers, it's also the viewing time that will get this monetized. And I promise you, I won't waste your time. Okay, I'm hoping to always be giving you something of value here on each episode as we put that out there. So, all right. If you have any questions, something you want to say, a comment, I always look forward to you regulars who go through and post, and I appreciate your support that way. So until next time, we're going to go to Loveland, Colorado next weekend. We're taking the Rove, and we're going to the Overland Expo that's there. So I'll bring you some highlights of that. We are camping in the show where Katie and Peter are showing his new invention, and we'll be showing the Rove off there as well. So that'll be on the next episode of Utah ADV. All right? Okay. Thanks for watching.